Alright, so I'm knee deep into it. Last video I already showed how to take all this apart, so I'm back into it. Because obviously I just spent a whole another gallon of methanol. But I am confirming that is the leak down in there. It's straight out of there. Now, one of the bros commented on the video that the way to get the new gasket was probably with a new pump. So I've done exactly that. And with electronics and stuff like that, I absolutely go with the genuine parts. AC Delco, same pump, same everything, has that new gasket right there. Because we use genuine Chevrolet parts. It's funny, is a lot of times I'll do others that aren't. But with the electronics, I found the AC Delco ones just work better. Plain and simple. Everything from spark plugs to anything under hood component. There is a caveat. Caveat is this. These switches are Dorman. This switch is Dorman. This switch is Dorman. So in here, those ones have been fine. Nice made in Taiwan parts, they work just fine. But if you're talking four-wheel drive actuators, ICMs, any of those kinds of stuff, get the AC Delco. Because if it's hard to get to and hard to pull apart, you don't want to take the chance that it's not going to work. And I've had that problem a couple of times with non-AC Delco parts. So this is what I'm putting in today. Hopefully a nice new fresh one. I need to pull the one out that's in there and figure out, but I think it's the original factory one, and that's why it's given up. 25 years almost that gasket would be, that little O-ring. It's more than a gasket, isn't it? But 25 years of age, heat and cool cycles, winters and warming up the engine and cooling down the engine, and hot summer and everything else, I think it's done for. I hope this seals it up. We'll find out. In case you're catching up now, the only reason I'm not pulling this all the way out is simply because that little piece of equipment right down there, the methanol pump taps into the bottom of this tank. And since I hear sloshing in there still, that one's obviously still pretty water or fluid tight. So all you got to do is pull this wire off here without breaking it. There we go. And that's just blue and red. And then should be able to, I don't think I can do this with the camera in one hand. I need both hands. But yeah, I can get it out this much. That's the feed for the windshield washer squirters themselves. I can take that off after I've got the pump out. So let me stop recording, let me start doing. Well, that's kind of expensive. But I kind of do need it to leak down so I can get all that cleaned up. It's methanol, which means it's flammable, so be careful with it, but it also means it flashes off and evaporates really quickly. We'll dump it. My biggest mistake was not letting that cure overnight. I don't know if that would have changed it or helped it, but the alcohol probably got in between the plastic and the silicone. But you look, this thing looks pretty beat up anyway. It was still pumping, it was still squirting. Okay, so it's exactly what I feared. My last repair, I tried to silicone it all together. What I'm finding is that silicone is not cured. So, alcohol messes with the silicone's curing processes. However, it also occurs to me, had I probably let it dry, it might have held. But, honestly, the best way to fix this is get the right part for the job. And so that's what I'm doing. So I need to clean all that up. I don't want any of that inside my tank anywhere anyhow. But yeah, you can see it's all still kind of greasy. I wiped it with a rag a little bit. Let's get all that cleaned off, get the old gasket out, and then we'll put the new stuff in. And you can see shadows and stuff. Right there, the top pin engages for the pump. The pump lead goes down in there. And then it's got all the tracks for the hoses, the wires, all of that stuff has tracks in here. And then that shield goes on top, has a little bit of Velcro there. It engages that little soft Velcro there. All goes together pretty easy. It hooks into this metal bracket down there. Has one 10mm bolt right there, and another 10mm right here. And that's how it all gets secured in there. And then it's under the battery tray. Looks like that. Just trying to catch up. I'm letting everything dry out a little bit, get all the alcohol to flash off for me. Then I'm going to go after that. But catching up anybody who maybe didn't see the last video but is interested in how to repair their washer pump. Nice thing about it all being alcohol is it cleaned up pretty nicely. Now it's funny is that gasket, that O-ring, whatever the heck you call that thing, it looks fine, but it's not sealing, obviously. So let's get it on out of there. Alright, the hole looks clean, undamaged. That should work. Like I said, this pump's got some damage. There's the old one. Here's the new one. New one's a little fatter, so it should plug the hole better. That one has kind of a barb on it, curious enough, but there's kind of wear marks in there. 24 years of vibrations and stuff, just the engine vibrating probably did it. Like I said, that goes in, that's your feed. And that's the pin that locks in at the top right there. And there's your plug. So yeah, there's your part numbers and stuff for it. And that's the output of the pump. Alright, I should be plenty enough to show you how this is about to go, because I need to pull this off, put it onto the output, and just snap this sucker back in with a good new O-ring. Hopefully it seals. This time when I fill up to test the seal, I am not filling up with my methanol first, so I am going to have a blend of washer fluid and methanol. In the grand scheme of things, that shouldn't hurt anything too bad, but obviously it's more efficient with pure methanol in there. Okay, here we go, a moment of truth. Let's see if this is in there and sealed and gonna work. Could help if I wouldn't dribble some down the side. So far I don't see anything. Other than the stuff that's dripping down the side there, I'm seeing nothing. I want to say this is sealed, and it was that simple. So that pump was like 25 bucks. Had I known that, I would have ordered it before trying to fix this the first time. Because obviously that's all it needed. Nice tight new O-ring gasket thingadigger. Curious thing to me, as you see here, there's the outlet here, and all the routing and everything. If you had a different pump, but that'd be at a higher level. So this bottle must be used for more than one application. But for my 454 K2500 1998 Suburban, that's where mine goes. You got one similar, should do the same for you. Now I just got to put all this back in. Wiring routes in here and up there. And that tubing routes up this line here. That shield goes on it. I don't like how much chafing I got down there, a little bit of surface rust, but remember I do live in a desert, so I'm not worried about rust as I might be if I lived in Michigan or something. All those Rust Belt, Iowa or wherever. We don't have that problem. Does seem to be holding. So I'm going to put it back together and I'm going to hope this solves the issue. If not, oh my goodness, I'm going to be pulling my hair out. But I do believe this is it. I don't see anything. I just dumped probably 1/4 of a gallon in there. That's 1 quart, right? But I see nothing leaking out. Alright, let's do it. Alright, there we go. Everything's bolted up, back together. A lot of crap to go through just to get to that washer bottle. But I got no leaks in there, which means it worked. It was just simply a matter of getting a new pump with a new gasket in there. So it's all back together, no leaks. I've topped it up. Like I said, I only put like 1/4 of the washer fluid in there, so the rest of it's all the methanol. What sucks is I burned through freaking 2 gallons of meth. So I'm gonna have to go get some again. It should last quite a while. And it should be okay, because it doesn't squirt that much into the whole system. But yeah, there it is. How to replace your water bottle, your windshield washer fluid pump. Real simple, easy. 5-minute video, 10-minute video for you guys. A couple hours worth of work for me, because so much has to be torn apart and put back together. But yeah, it's done. It's fixed. I should be good to go from here on out. Appreciate you watching. We'll catch you on the next one.